Hi everyone, welcome to This and That. Today I have baby Olivia sitting here and I have changed her into a dress that I bought at Carter's recently, and I was thrilled to get this for 50% off. I had admired it before Christmas but didn't want to pay full price for it, so decided against it. But I was in the store with my 3 girls a little while ago and saw it marked half off, and so I thought, this is perfect, I'm going to take it. So it's just a really cute pale gray sweater dress, and it has this really nice design in red and green and kind of like a yellow gold, well, yellow I guess, and a bit of white design there. It's got 3 buttons along the shoulder under her chin there. So a little bit of cable design on the cuffs, and she's got her red bracelet on to go with that. Matches perfectly. And then this is the bottom of the dress. So, and I've just paired it with some boots here. She's got socks and kind of like sweater cable with a bit of fur across the top. Boots to go with that. And she's got a hat on with a ruffle around, and then the hairband is on top of the hat to just add a little bit of pizzazz. There's just a big white bow with a flower in the middle of it there. And this was actually my 7-year-old's idea. She was with me when I was getting her dressed and changed and everything. It was her idea, actually, to put the headband on top of the hat. So I thought that was cute. And there's just a honey bug pacifier there. We can take it out for a minute so she can say hi. And there's that cute little face. I think she's looking just sweet today. I don't see any mischief in her eyes today. She just looks adorable. So, yeah. Anyhow, I thought I would come on and do a tag video. I was watching Wendy from WeebieDolls. I was watching her channel yesterday, and I noticed that she had started a tag, WeebieDolls 7 question tag. And I thought, well, maybe I should give that a whirl, because the questions rang a little bit of a bell with me, and I thought, yeah, I could potentially answer those and share a little bit. So I have the questions here, and I debated whether or not to kind of rehearse or write out or have an idea as to what I should say in the answers. But I didn't. I thought, just off the cuff, just go for it. So question number 1, who was your very first reborn? What sculpt, and do you still have him or her? So my very first reborn was the Yelenia sculpt by Elisa Marks, and the doll came as a girl, but I had wanted it to be a boy. So after she arrived, I changed her clothes and everything, and it was a boy. And I can't remember, this is terrible, what name I gave him. Not that it matters. It's not like that's one of the questions here in the tag. But anyhow, yeah, so that was my first reborn, and that was the sculpt. And I personally don't have that doll in my own collection anymore. It belongs to my youngest daughter. She is 7. And she has named him Caleb. Actually, she's his 3rd mommy. I was the first one when I adopted him. He was new, and so I was the first mommy. And then he ended up being adopted by my sister, who had him for a while. And then now my youngest daughter has him. So he's stayed in the family. He's around. We can still look at him and enjoy him and see him and everything, but he's not in my own personal collection. So moving on to question 2. Which is, what does your significant other or best friend or closest family think about your doll hobby? So, starting with my significant other, which would be my husband, he is really not interested in any way, shape, or form in this hobby. I think he wishes it wasn't quite as expensive as it is. I do have several dolls. I kind of, once I got going, there were, multiple purchases of dolls. And as you all know, they are not the cheapest thing in the world to get. And so, my collection has come to a standstill. Which is fine. I really enjoy the dolls that I have. I like the variety and the size of my collection. I keep them all in a cradle in my room next to our bed, and it's what fits in there basically. So, and of course there's the accessories and all the fun things that you can get for them. So, like I say, he doesn't maybe get it or wishes maybe it didn't cost so much, but at the same time, he and my son are having fun and, into remote control cars and things like this. So, it's whatever you like and whatever you have a passion for, because of course those aren't necessarily cheap either. And, all the batteries and paraphernalia that you need to go along with that too. So, anyway, yeah, he, really, it's of no interest to him, but that's fine. I mean, that doesn't matter. This is something that I do for me, and it is something that I enjoy doing with our 3 girls. That would be our immediate family. We have 4 children, and so the girls and I enjoy this together, and I'm really, really thankful that we can have something that we can do together. They range in age, 7, 9, and 13. And I'm glad to have found this out now, while they're still young and have an interest for it. And it's something that we can do together. And we have changing parties, as we call them, where we get together and change the dolls. And once in a while we'll go shopping and stuff like that. So, and watching videos as well. And so that's been something that's been a lot of fun, and I've been thankful for. My closest friends, I don't really have that many, for starters. And I guess it's not something that I really talk a lot about. Like, there are different women and different ladies and things, and, at our church and stuff that I know and see in a social way. But I don't really think they know I have, this hobby, that I have these dolls. That's not to say that I've, gone out of my way to purposely keep it a secret, but it's just not anything that's kind of come up in conversation or whatever. I do have one friend who lives down in the States in New Jersey, and I've known her since I was 10, and we have a really close friendship despite the distance. And she knows that I have them and whatnot, and she totally respects it. I think she understands. She's got 1 girl. She's the opposite of our family. She has 1 girl and 3 boys. So yeah, she's not about to get into it though with her daughter, but she thinks it's, it's interesting, and that's just my thing, and that's fine, So yeah, apart from my own girls and my sister, even though she doesn't have them anymore, my oldest sister, she understands the appeal and the fun and what have you. And so basically, for people in my own personal life here that I kind of can talk about it with or enjoy it with, it would be my 3 daughters and my oldest sister. Apart from that, it's purely online, really. It's these videos and people on YouTube and different ones that I've met that have a big passion for it, even way more than I do, and know a lot more than I do. And so, yeah. But that's fine, This is a platform that we can all climb onto and, share alike, and that's a really nice thing to be able to do. So, moving right along. Let's see here. Question number 3. Do you prefer to have your baby dressed in outfits with shoes or simple, comfy sleepers? Well, if I had to pick one or the other, I definitely have a tendency for the comfy sleeper. I absolutely love sleepers. They are a huge favorite of mine. However, obviously here I have Olivia dressed up. Well, for me, this is dressed up. I know some ladies have a real knack, and their dolls are, you know, getting turned out looking just beautiful with all kinds of accessories and gorgeous outfits and tights and shoes and all that kind of thing. And I admire that. I think it looks really cute, but it's not something I've tended to gravitate toward myself. Pretty much what you're looking at here is as dressed up as it gets for me. I tend to, like I say, stick to more of a comfy aspect for them. Even if it is an outfit, if it's not a sleeper, like it might just be a two-piece, like a really nice, comfortable, you know, onesie and pants set or something like that. But yeah, it's, you know, something that makes me feel good when I see them all sitting there looking comfy cozy. It makes me feel good. So question number 4, do you prefer rooted hair or painted? I think, well, I'm sort of torn when it comes to this question, because on the one hand, I would say I don't really have a preference, but then on the other, when I look at my collection, you know, of the 6 dolls, only one has rooted hair. So, and her hair is very beautifully rooted hair. It's lovely hair. This munchkin here, Olivia, did come to me with some rooted hair, but it was not her finest feature. I went into that a little bit in my Reborn collection video I did recently. If you haven't watched it though, it was just something I'd mentioned was I had sort of fussed and bothered with it for quite a while because it wasn't sealed on the inside of her head. So every time I tried to comb it, even though I was gentle, hair would come out and whatnot, and it just grew to be a real nuisance. And so I thought one day, you know what, let's just be done with it. So I pulled all the hair as best I could out, and so she has become basically a baldy, apart from just the odd little one that my sister was telling me I should take tweezers to. I haven't done that yet, but anyway, you know, so that's why I like, you know, putting hats and things on her, because she doesn't have any hair anymore. But I still think she's cute, even though she's a baldy. You get to see what she looks like. I took off her hat in that video. So all that, I guess, to say, definitely there's something to be said for a beautifully rooted baby, but equally, it's, in many ways, it's easier if it's just bald or painted, because you don't have any fuss or muss with it. You know, it's just always the same. You don't have to worry about it, conditioning it, keeping it combed and everything. So to go back to actually answer the question, I suppose, I don't know, I'm not against rooted hair. I know that it's very beautiful. Also, they tend to be more expensive when babies come with rooted hair. It's cheaper if they're bald or painted. And the majority of mine are. So, painted, that is. I've got 1 baldy here, we're looking at her, and 4 with painted and 1 rooted. So, yeah, I guess I prefer painted. So, question number 5 is, do you prefer open eyes or sleeping sculpts? I don't know if I have a preference. I think if you'd asked me this a few months back, I probably would have said sleeping. And I still obviously really do like sleeping. I have 3 sleeping babies and 3 awake babies. I have found that I enjoy both. I would miss, like if I just didn't have any more sleeping babies and only had awake, I would miss the sleeping, and vice versa. So I don't know that I have a preference really. They both have their own appeal. I think in many ways the sleeping babies can sometimes come across as being slightly more realistic, because, you know, a real live child doesn't just sit with their eyes open and never move. Like, there's going to be some movement going on, and obviously a doll is not going to move. So in pictures, you know, which is a still shot, yes, they can look very realistic and look adorable, and you can put them in different poses. And I've enjoyed doing that. But like when I'm just sitting here and, you know, real time and looking at the cradle, it's my sleeping ones that I can look at and kind of just get fooled into thinking that they're just actually alive and they're just lying there sleeping. You know, whereas the ones that have open eyes, they're just sitting there staring. And is very much, yes, that is not a real live child. It's a doll. But yeah, so they're both cute. I don't really know if I have one preference over the other. So moving on to the next question, and just I'm going to mention I've noticed my battery is getting low, so if this video cuts off, I will just have to replace them and continue on. So there might be a little interruption, but anyhow. Question number 6, do you prefer to order customs or look for buy it now? So, to answer the question, I think I prefer to look for buy it now. That is typically how I have accumulated the dolls that I have. The only one that was a custom for me was the little Rosebud sculpt by Cindy Musgrove. I had her made as a custom months ago, and she is now in my oldest daughter's collection, and that was fun. It really felt nerve-wracking, like I was going out on a limb. I had never done this before, and it was like, what if I don't like how she turns out? And I tried not to worry and fret and fuss about it, but she, you know, the artist sent pictures a couple of times throughout the process, and you know, I needn't have worried. Everything went totally fine. I loved how she turned out. She's a gorgeous little baby, and it was a huge success. So I'm obviously very thankful for that. But I don't know if I could go through that again. Just the wondering of, oh no, what happens when you wait and then you open it up, and then just what if there's just something that you don't care for or whatever, like, oh, it would be such a huge disappointment. Whereas, you know, when you're looking on eBay or Etsy or what have you, you're looking at an already made doll, and you can tell right off the bat if it, you know, does it speak to you? Do you like everything about it or not? And yeah, you know, you gravitate towards ones that you really kind of click with and fall in love with, and that's how I have typically done it. So yeah, I think I prefer buying a doll that's already made rather than a custom. But that's just my own, you know, personal feeling, which is okay, because that's what these tags are for, right? We're all different. And last but not least, the 7th question, what positive things has this hobby brought to your life? Well, I would say I've actually touched on a couple different things already, in that it's been a positive thing because of the fact I can share it with my daughters. I think that that's huge. For me personally, it is just a very nice, innocent, sweet, happy thing. You know, babies, infants are blessings from the Lord, and each one is a created miracle. And, you know, these dolls replicate that. You know, they are just this sweet, innocent looking little thing, and it just pulls at your heartstrings. And yeah, it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, for lack of a better term. So, you know, I suffer from depression, and I am on medication for that. And I just think that, you know, whenever I see them sitting there in the cradle, and, you know, I've dressed them the way that pleases me, and obviously I like the different sculpts that I have, and yeah, it's just, it's a feel-good factor. You look at them and it makes you feel good. It's very much a positive thing. So I've enjoyed it from that respect. So, and it's been fun to be able to come online and meet other people who have a similar passion and see how they enjoy their dolls. And that's just been really fun and interesting to experience. So yeah, I would say that pretty much wraps up those 7 questions. So thank you to Wendy of WeebieDolls for the tag originally. And this was my version of the answers. So thank you. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but oh well. Hopefully you're not bored. Thank you for stopping by and taking the time to watch and listen. This has been a little bit of this and that with Miss Olivia here. So take care until next time, guys, and goodbye for now.